Today on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. Why would you let Russel Simmons post you all over his Instagram for you to get all of this backlash from the people who are your biggest fans? Women. Like, why would you do that? What up? It's your boy Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, you guys, let me break down today's show for you. I got one lead story. We're going to talk about Canada no longer being one of the richest countries in the world. Then we're going to jump over to quick news. We're going to talk about Usher, Diddy, the Supreme Court, Meek Mills, Ressa Teesa, Chrisean Rock, and Nicki Minaj. Then when we're done with that, we're going to jump into question of the day. I'm going to give you a sneak peek and let you know what that question is. What lie have you told to get out of work? I got some fun comments, and of course, I got an answer to that question as well. And then we're going to end off the show with some sports news. We're going to talk Russell Wilson. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, radio, or devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Canada is no longer one of the richest countries in the world. Truth be told, I didn't even know that Canada was on the short list of one of the richest countries in the world. I'm wondering if y'all knew that too. But let me jump into the story quick and then we'll talk about it. Reports from the National Post states that Canada has lost its stature as one of the wealthiest countries globally, with GDP per capita declining significantly, marking the most severe drop in over 3 decades. Wow, man, one of the biggest drops in over 30 years. That's crazy. The analysis reveals that Canada's economy is expanding at a slower pace than its population's growth, leading to a decrease in the GDP per capita. In the late 1981 ranking, Canada held the 6th position worldwide for GDP per capita, trailing Switzerland, I don't even know the other name of that country, Norway, the United States, and Denmark. I think it's Lunenburg, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. By 2022, Canada has slipped to its 15th position. Notable countries like Ireland, Netherlands, Australia, Switzerland, Iceland, Australia, Germany, Belgium, and Finland, previously considered less affluent than Canada, have now surpassed Canada in wealth. What are your thoughts on this? So, I don't know really what to say about this. I don't know if this is really my wheelhouse to comment on. This is really, my show is more around entertainment, but I do touch on some Canadian stories when I get the opportunity and when something hits home like this. Reading the article, it doesn't necessarily state that the issue is necessarily the economy and maybe that the population is growing quicker than we anticipated. I don't know if that could be a reason. I'm just throwing things out there. But could it be something to do with COVID? Could it be something to do with Trudeau? Because I know people are always dragging Trudeau in the news. But I'm going to throw this back at you guys. You guys let me know. What do you think is attributing to Canada no longer being one of the richest countries in the world? Is it Trudeau? Is it our economy slowing down? Because like I said, it doesn't, let me find the part in here again. It doesn't say that the economy is slowing down. It's saying that the population has grown. Oh, here it is. The analysis revealed that Canada's economy is expanding at a slower pace than its population growth, leading to the decrease in GDP per capita. So it's per capita that we're no longer the richest country in the world. But if it's because our population is growing or maybe immigration, then that could be the reason. But anyways, like I said, I just saw this as a story, and I know some of you guys always get on me, be like, Trent, you're from Canada, you're in Montreal, we need some Canadian news. But this is an entertainment and pop culture podcast. This stuck out to me, like I said, for 2 reasons. I really didn't know that Canada was even I don't know what they said before, if we were in the top 10, but now we're in the top 15. I don't think top 15 is any that horrible of a position to be in when you think that there's 200-300 countries in the world. But then on the flip side, we're neighbors with the US, and they are the richest country in the world. So you would think that we should be a little bit better. But then on the other side of it, we only have 40 million people here, whereas the States has close to 400 million people. So Hey, like I said, this is not my wheelhouse. I don't know much about this. I just wanted to talk about this and kind of post this up and for you guys to give me your feedback. What do you think is the reason why Canada is no longer the richest country in the world? Is it like what I'm estimating that it could be just that our population is growing at a quicker rate and that's it? Is it Trudeau? Is it COVID? What do you think it is? Let me know. All right, that was my very quick lead story. Let's jump into quick news. Ring my bell. Diddy finds himself in hot water after posting a picture of his little daughter in a car seat and saying, "My baby love." So I even commented on this online. I don't understand why Diddy is anywhere near Instagram or anywhere near any social media with all the allegations that he has going on. I understand that it's an innocent little girl, it's an innocent picture, and he's sending out his love. But with all the allegations and with all the court cases you have going on, don't give people a reason to say anything about you, Diddy. It's obviously not looking genuine. You sitting down in your car, taking a picture of your daughter and just posting up and saying, "My baby love." Like, we get you love your newborn daughter. We get it. But you're in so much hot water right now. Any single thing you do is going to be scrutinized. Let me read you guys a little bit of the comments. Bree BBY wrote, "Stop posting, bro." Mofa02 wrote, "Poor baby don't know the type of daddy she got." Christine Sales wrote, "That baby won't save you." See, it's looking like you're trying to, let us know you're a dad, you have a baby girl. Like, these things are not true. That's the message that you're trying to send, Diddy. And it's not a good message. You're just going to get people to scrutinize you even more. Blonde Locks wrote, "Don't fall for it." Your HR department wrote, "Not yet, Diddy. Maybe another couple of seasons." Again, wait, Diddy. Be patient. Brenda3_ wrote, "Bless that baby. The father is wicked, Lord." That's kind of mean to say, but okay. Somebody else wrote, "The baby praying for a different legacy." You know what I mean? It's just like, nobody is going to sit down there and be like, "Oh, he's such a loving dad. Maybe he didn't do all of these things that these people are alleging for him to do." Like, what is he thinking that he's going to get out of posting his daughter like that? And especially, it's a little girl, There's a lot of other things that people said, which I'm not going to read, but, people are alluding to the fact that if, like, how could you, have a daughter and treat your daughter away and hold her in such high regards, and then there's so much allegations against you for the things that you have done to women. So, it's just going to open up Pandora's box. Diddy, if you ever get a chance to hear this, bro, give your phone to somebody, put it in a lockbox, and don't give anybody the code, man. Stay off of social media. Usher receives backlash for going to visit Russel Simmons in Bali. All right, here's another case of somebody doing something stupid. My gosh, I don't understand what Usher is doing. So Usher is good friends with Russel Simmons, and Russel Simmons has the same kind of allegations that Diddy has against him, okay? And now Russel is living full-time in Bali because he's too afraid to live in the United States because there's cases against him. And if he's here, they could charge him, they could arrest him. So he lives in Bali right now. Just to be clear, he hasn't been found guilty of anything. And in his defense, he's taken 5 or 6 lie detectors, and he says that all the allegations against him are not true. But my man picked up and literally went to live in Bali and doesn't want to be anywhere near a place where the cops can come and take him and arrest him. So that should just tell you something. That's the background of Russel Simmons. Now, and for those of you who don't know, who might not know, Russel Simmons is the founder of Def Jam. Russel Simmons is pretty much like the godfather of hip hop, okay? So, yes, signed LL Cool J, Run DMC, Jay-Z, DMX, Ja Rule, just to give you a background of who Russel Simmons is for the younger audience who doesn't know. So that's the background. That's his background of who Russel Simmons is and the trouble he's in. Now, Russel Simmons posted this on his Instagram account from Bali. "When I was at the lowest point in my life," referring to the allegations against him, "I woke up and this man was sitting by my bed," talking about Usher. "I had known Usher since he was a kid, but we really bonded because of our mutual love of self-discovery and our belief in yogic science as a direct route to realizing God's consciousness in ourselves. People, remember to remember this. A friend walks in when others walk out. I will never forget the generosity of spirit I witnessed in this man. God bless you, baby bro. All right, so I get that they have a bond over yogic science. It's just yoga, basically. And I get that Usher might feel like Russel Simmons is like an uncle or a father figure to him. I totally get that. But Usher has just come off of one of the biggest runs that he has ever had in his 30-year career. He has released an album. He just released an album. He was at the Super Bowl. His streams are up. He just finished his Vegas residency, and he's about to start a concert. I get visiting Russell. I'm not saying not to visit Russell, but why would you let Russel Simmons post you all over his Instagram for you to get all of this backlash from the people who are your biggest fans? Women. Like, why would you do that? And Russell, seeing that you love Usher so much, and he's your baby bro, and he's done so much for you, and he was by your bedside for so long, why would you post him for you to get clout, to make yourself look better, to be like, yo, everyone's going crazy over Usher and Usher, but look who he's hanging out with, to make yourself look a little better in the eyes of the public? Why would you do that if you really love him? You know that people have already drawn their conclusions. Why would you use Usher like this? I just think that is horrible for Russel Simmons to do if you really care about Usher. Now, if Usher is on his own Instagram and he's like, yo, came out to see my Uncle Russ, yo, hanging out, and he's posting now, and if Russell's like, yo, don't do that, and he does that, okay, fine. Let Usher do that. Why would you do that? Like, I just don't understand, man. Both of them are just, this is just a dumb move if you ask me. And I love Usher, man. You guys know for the past couple of weeks, I literally been talking about Usher literally like 2-3 times a week on my podcast. I just don't understand. Just to repeat, I fully understand you being there for somebody who's your friend, somebody who's been there for you, somebody who's a mentor, somebody who's a father figure. Go see Russell 10 times a month if you want to. Go and live with him if you want to. I don't care. He's your yoga buddy. Cool. That's your friend. Go. I'm not judging you for that. But why do you have to make that public? Why? You're on such a good run. Why make that public? I just don't understand. And like I said, and Russell, I feel like he's taking advantage of Usher to try to paint himself in a better light. And I don't think that's what a friend does. And I'm sure Usher probably okayed it. I just don't think it's a good look for either of them. That's just my 2 cents. The Supreme Court rules that Donald Trump can remain on the ballot in Colorado. So I'm a little bit late reporting this story. I think this happened actually like a couple of days ago, but just to catch up my audience out there, if you haven't heard, I'm sure you have, but I got to do my due diligence. So Donald Trump, the Supreme Court has said that no state can take him off of the ballot. It was unanimous, 9 judges. Here's the information that I would like for you to know. There are 6 conservatives on the court and 3 liberals. Although the liberals did vote to not take him off the ballot, they didn't vote to not take him off the ballot because they don't believe that he's guilty of the insurrection. But they did say that they don't think they should take him off the ballot because it will be too confusing. Like, if some states have him on and some states don't have it off, which doesn't make sense to me because the whole point of having state and state laws is that so that every state could govern themselves individually. So if the Supreme Court says that, and another thing that they said is that they said that if it was a governor, then that would be different. The state can have control over that. But because this is the presidency, and this is a federal matter, then the states should not be able to decide something that happens on a federal level, which doesn't really make sense to me because if the state wants to decide who they shall allow on their ballot, whether it be for a federal position, it still should be up to the state. So the liberals are kind of like saying that they don't think that Donald Trump is innocent and they don't feel like he should be on the ballot, but they don't want to confuse things because it's at the federal level, which sounds confusing and they know it's confusing. So if that makes sense to y'all, don't think it's me confusing you. That's literally what they said. Meek Mills finally finds the humor in all of the gay allegations that are coming out about him in the past couple of days. I have seen this whole Meek Mills things. This is actually tied back to Diddy's case with Little Rob when he was saying that not only did Diddy make some advances towards him and he wants to take him to court, he also said that in his court case that Meek Mills is a homosexual and so is Usher, and he witnessed a bunch of things in the studio, and people have just been tearing Meek up online. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. But for the past couple of days, Meek has been on Twitter literally just trying to like defend himself the entire time. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not gay. I love women. There's nothing more that I love than women, and I like being sexual with women. And he's really got like so graphic about it that people were like, why are you defending yourself so much, bro? I mean, there's certain things that I cannot repeat, but he's just been like trying to defend it. You know, when somebody defending themselves so much and trying to like make you believe so much that they're not something, you're like, well, you're really going in hard on this. So it's making me feel like you are that thing and you're just actually trying to just defend it because you're not comfortable with coming out. So I think Meek probably got the notice of like, hey, let me try to stop defending myself. And Andrew Schultz, who's a comedian who's actually has a podcast with Charlemagne on Brilliant Idiots, he was in Philly and made a joke. I'll try to play a little bit for you. I'll try to edit it out, but not edit out, but edit out the bad parts that I cannot play. But I'll try to play a little for you, and then I'll let you know what Meek said. Here's this.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think Meek is gay. I do not think Meek is gay. But he is incredibly bad at proving he's straight. He is maybe the worst in history at doing that. Shout out Meek, man. He's done a lot of amazing things for prison reform, right? Getting all them gay dudes out so he can their problems.
All right, so Meek got a hold of that, reposted it on his Twitter, put a bunch of laughing emojis and said, the first time I laughed at being gay, but don't whip me in real life, I may swing, which is horrible English. And I think he means to say for the first time I'm laughing at gay allegations, because he wrote, first time I laughed at being gay. So it's just horrible. But whatever. He's attempting to make light of it now, and I think he's realizing that if the more I try to fight it and try to defend myself, it's gonna look like I'm trying to hide something. And now he's taking the alternative route and trying to join in on the laughing, and it's really just coming across horrible. I don't know why Meek doesn't hire like a publicist and not stop having all these typos and not knowing how to handle situations. But yo, shout out to Meek, man. Ressa Teesa is living her life like it's golden. All right, so I'm sure most of you by now have heard the name Ressa Teesa. For those of you who have not, Ressa Teesa is the girl that was on TikTok that made 50 10-minute clips on TikTok. And the title was, Who the F Did I Marry? And since she's done that last week, she's been in the headlines like every week. I actually have not talked about her on my podcast yet. I don't know why. I guess it kind of missed me last week. And it was actually Mars who brought it up to me on my Instagram live on Thursday. And I was like, how did I miss this? And then whatever, I was late. So my apologies missing this story. But it's now literally where she went from being on TikTok, everybody following her story. Then I told you guys yesterday, or I think maybe the day before, her and Charlemagne had a little back and forth because Charlemagne said she had big back behavior. Then she was on Good Morning America. And now you see her literally like on photo shoots, and she's all out here, and she's like in Hollywood now. And people are kind of trashing her online for it. I'm going to read to you some comments, and I'm going to tell you my take on it, all right? People are in the comment section saying, People act like she stormed the door to these publications, TV shows, and brands. They went to her, get mad at them. See, because she's getting a lot of backlash. But hold on. Somebody wrote, it's going too far. We are really glorifying a grown adult who missed all the signs. Again, let me explain that one. So a lot of people are like, why are we talking about this girl? She literally came on TikTok and a guy basically played her, right? The guy who she married lied to her. You know, he didn't really have the job that he had. He didn't have the money he had. He really wasn't the person who he had. He tricked her, and she made these TikToks to expose him that he was this big liar or whatever. So we're like, why are we glorifying, this comment is saying, why are we glorifying and amplifying a woman that really hurt herself, right? It's like she believed all of these things. She didn't do her own due diligence. So why is she getting so much notoriety? But again, hold on. I'm going to give you my opinion. Sylvia Grace wrote, I'm so happy for her. When the time is right, God will make it happen for you. And you can imagine a month ago, she was just a hustling mom. See, that's somebody who loves her story. Nurse Royal wrote, Ressa is a prime example of when God says it's your time, baby girl. Brianna Alexis wrote, I got to start telling more of my business so I could get rich. And lastly, somebody wrote, y'all really mad this lady famous for being a goof? She knew good, darn and well that man was lying to her. Sorry, let me read this last one. So tell all your problems, become Instagram famous, not rich, noted. Okay. So look, hold on, let me hear this one. It's hard to overlook and undercut her genuine nature. She really comes from an authentic and relative place for people out here looking to find their person. It's sad to see so many miserable souls try and tear her and others like her down. Good luck on your journey of acceptance. Anyways, so look, this is my take. And by the way, I still have not seen any of these videos. I've literally just been hearing the headlines. I haven't watched one of the 50 videos, and I'm probably not gonna watch it. But here's my take. Why are people mad at this girl's new stardom? This is what I want to talk about. This is the world we live in. Whether she got fooled, whether she know that she was being lied to, regardless, we live in a social media world. Hence why people like me have a podcast that talks about pop culture and entertainment, because this is what's thriving out here. People don't really watch soap operas and these kind of things like back in the day. Like, people live off of other people's lives, other people's misery, or other people's success. More of the times is other people's misery. And that's why this story is resonating so much. And I love that she went out here, she put it on social media. She knew what she was doing by putting it on social media. Could she have predicted how far it would have taken her? Of course not. But she put it on social media, she put it out there, and it has picked up weight. And it bothers me that people are mad. This is 2024. Use your own story, get on your old social media, be your own content creator, and stop hating on people. It's the same thing I talked about yesterday about Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is a pro athlete. He was on Undisputed. He started his YouTube channel, and now he's doing interviews with celebrities. I get he's a celebrity, but hear me out. And because he's had so much success in the past year in the content creation world, people are now hating on him. It's the same thing that they're doing with her. Or her story is, whatever her story is, whether she was lied to, whether she knew that she was being lied to, whether the story isn't true, because her husband is coming out and saying that this is all a lie. So let's not forget that. The point is that Ressa is using social media to her advantage, and she's capitalizing off of it. Whether the story is real, whether the story is fake, whether she's hurting, not hurting, or whatever, this is the world in which we live in. Like it or not, we live in a social media driven world. And the new celebrities are going to be the social media people. Just accept it. So stop hating on this woman. whether you believe it or whether you're not, the fact that you don't like this story and don't like that she is capitalizing and living her best life, and now she's going to be on the cover of magazines. You know she's going to be probably at award shows. She's probably going to be on some TV show, maybe somewhere along the lines, or maybe she might even get a book deal or a TV series deal. Whatever she gets out of it, all you guys out there hating on her because you were lied to and your boyfriend or your girlfriend lied to you, or you have misery and you haven't capitalized on it, that's your fault. I salute her. She made her money. She made her bag. She's Instagram famous, TikTok famous. Yo, let her live her best life. Chrisean Rock says she is willing to wait for Blueface despite rocky relationship. Love is worth the fight. All right, I know a lot of you guys out there hate Chrisean Rock and hate when I talk about her. You guys feel like she's too toxic and too trashy. I get it. But I love Chrisean. I'm going to play this little clip and then I'll follow back.
I pretty much got everything. Like, what I didn't have was my favorite person. So it's like, when we started hanging out again, right before he went in, the energies was like, I don't know. It's like we really miss each other. We wish we had it 24/8.
All right, let me read to you the story quickly. One thing about Chrisean Rock, she's going to stand by Blueface's side no matter what. The rapper and reality star recently hopped on Instagram Live to chop it up with some of her fans. During her little session, she was asked about her jailed baby daddy, and of course, she gave everybody the real tea on their status. Rock made it clear that she is waiting for Blueface to get out the slammer to see if he will really change for the better. Rock went on to explain she feels like she has everything she wants in her life except her favorite person, which is Blueface. Ultimately, Chrisean Rock believes love is worth the fight, and so the baddie star is planning to stick it out to see if things will play out. Anyways, man, I love Chrisean Rock. I know this is also part of their show, Crazy in Love, and they're making money off of it. So I don't know how much of it is true because I don't know how much I believe in this whole love story anyways. But I love, whether it's true or not, I like Chrisean Rock. Something about her and Blueface, I don't know. I've never even watched the show, but I do like following their story. So shout out to Chrisean for staying by her man. Canadian dancer accuses Nicki Minaj of stealing his choreography for her tour. I wasn't after payment just to collaborate and receive credit. They offered me $100. Okay, there's a long story to this. I actually saw Brandon Gonez do a good piece on this. I'm going to tell you quickly because I just want to support my boy who's a local Canadian. So apparently this dancer made, I'm going to tell you guys his name. I don't want to say this dancer. Sorry. His name is Dante Coley, Colley, Dante Coley. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Sorry if I'm not. But so he made a TikTok dance He made a TikTok dance for Nicki Minaj's song. It went viral. Now, apparently, Nicki is using that in her choreography. So when her first, I think I think her tour started this weekend, and she put out a clip of the tour, and people were like, hey, that's Dante's choreography. So they were adding her, then she got wind of it, and she was like, thank you guys for adding me. I had no idea. I thought this was one of my dancers made this up, Lady Zara, and then they were like, we'll contact Dante. Apparently, her lead choreographer contacted Dante, and allegedly offered him $100 and like a ticket to come to the show. And he's like, yo, I don't want $100. I want to collaborate. I want to come on stage and do my dance with Nicki. Apparently that wasn't okayed. I don't know if it's Nicki or the choreographer, but there's a big buzz online about it. I'm not going to play all the clips for you guys. You could research it online if you're interested in this story. But like I said, I wanted to shout out a Canadian choreographer, and Nicki. I think you should do right by Dante. If you are taking this man's dance, and you obviously are, if you literally said, I saw her tweet where she was like, I had no idea. I thought this was Lady Zara. If you're acknowledging that you're taking this man's dance and you're going to offer him something, give him what he would like. What's the problem with you bringing him up on stage or collaborating or even joining the tour? If he's that good where you guys are taking it and he's gone viral, like these content creators are the reasons why your songs go to the music artists out there. Like, that's why songs work nowadays. Years ago, you had to work radio. Now you got to work social media. So I'm always going to stand with my content creators. Content creators make these songs what they are today. They put dances to it. They put little funny things to it, and they create viral moments. Everybody continues it, and then your song blows up, and you want to offer this man $100, and you want to offer him tickets to your show. Bring that man on stage, bring him around with you on tour, and let him be a part and let him grow from there. That's how he could make his money, about $100. Nicki, do better. All right, this brings us to question of the day. What lie have you told to get out of work? All right, let's jump into the comment section. My kid was really sick and I have to stay home with them because I'm a single father. I'm gay and I got no darn kids. What? I really didn't see that one coming. I've never lied. I'm just not coming in. Sorry, that was Aries Angie Copping wrote that. Violent Delight? What kind of name is Violent Delight? Violent Delight wrote, let's just say some people in my family have died twice. Yo, that's cold, man. You people are really saying that people died to get out of work? I would never do that, man. Wow, Really Raven wrote, my cat was sick. My boss loves cats, so when I caught on that he loves cats so much, I use that as my excuse. I don't even have a cat, but little Reese got sick and I was out for a whole week. Forbidden Beauty wrote, we can't use COVID no more. That's a fact. Stu51 wrote, my grandfather died. I've had 4 difficult supervisors, so that means he's died 4 times now. Yo, I can't believe you guys are out here lying on family members that they died. I would never do that. Love Area wrote, lie to my job? Question mark, question mark. Never would I do that. Very funny. Trey Villain wrote, as a manager, I've heard and seen it all. Ha ha ha. The lies, the lies, the lies. And the last one is Missy23_ wrote, my dad's sick. My dad fell out of a tree. I think my dad finna die. Anyways, either way, I'm always putting it on my dad. My boss be like, how's your dad? And I'm like, wow, it's a miracle. He bounced back out of nowhere. My biggest lie for not going into work was lying to y'all, because I've never lied for going into work. I've literally worked for myself since I was almost a teenager. I think I've had like 1 job at Merck Frost, and I never lied to them and not come in. Every time that I was sick, I was actually really sick. That's because I wasn't on salary. So if I didn't bring my butt into work, I didn't get paid. So I've actually never one time lied when I was sick. I just lied to you guys at the beginning saying that I have an answer. All right, this brings us to sports news. Russell Wilson shares sentiments after being released from the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson has broken his silence after the Denver Broncos informed the veteran quarterback that he will be released after the start of the new league year on March the 13th. In a statement, Russell Wilson thanked the city of Denver and said he was excited for what's next. Wife Sierra also showed love and support. I'm not going to read to you guys the whole letter. I'll post it up on my YouTube page, but there's a whole letter of giving back and thanking Denver. Denver also wrote, they wrote on their Twitter, we've notified QB Russell Wilson that he will be released after the league's year begins March 13th. A statement from the GM. And that's really about it, man. Denver also wrote this. As we move forward, we are focused on building the strongest team possible for the 2024 season and beyond. We are excited to improve this season and will have the flexibility to get better through the draft and free agency. So I don't know, man. They didn't say, oh gosh, we're brokenhearted. We're going to miss. We thank you so much, Russell Wilson, because he really didn't do much. And I also heard that he is getting his full contract. He's getting his full $84 million. I'm not too sure how long he signed for, but $84 million sounds like he probably signed for, I don't know, 3-4 years maybe. Let's call it 4 years. So they're not trying to trade him. They're not trying to do anything. They're just like, yo, we made a mistake. We don't want you anymore. Here's your money. Please leave. That is major. That tells you a few things. there's no other teams that are interested in Russell right now, because why wouldn't they trade for him so they wouldn't have to lose all that money? And that tells you that there's real issues inside that Denver locker room with Russell if they don't want to even wait another year to try to see if they could trade him. Like, they're just like, yo, we don't even want him. They just gave up $84 million just like that. Boom, have it. Please get out. Damn, man. Yo, this is not looking too good for Russell out here. By the way, I did want to correct myself. Last week when I talked about Russell being a good dad, it had nothing to do with sports. I said that Russell never won a Super Bowl. I actually did some work while I was editing the podcast, and it was already too late. But Russell had won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks. He actually went back the following year and almost won back-to-back, but he lost. The Seahawks lost. So Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl champion. So, but what a fall from grace, being such at high levels with the Seahawks, winning a Super Bowl, almost winning back-to-back. I mean, man, they used to just talk about Russell all the time as one of the greatest ever, and now Denver can't even find a trade for him, and they don't even want to hold on to him to finish out the contract. They just want to pay him off and push him out the door. What a fall from grace, man. Anyways, we'll see what happens with Russell in 2024. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace! For more content, you could subscribe, download, or listen to the Trent Out Loud podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, or you could watch us on YouTube. Just search Trent Out Loud. For showtimes and updates, you could follow us on all social platforms at Trent Out Loud. Go to signupexpert.com/Trent. Once you sign up for all betting apps and get all your bonuses and get all your rewards, go to your app store and download BetStamp and use promo code TOL.